We got astronomical alpha in AI. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. Let's hit it. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. It is episode 14 of the Alpha Show. I hope everyone had an amazing weekend. We are back at it on Monday. Crypto never sleeps. Before we get started today, just want to say the 25% off lunarcrush.com if you use code alpha25. It's already $4 a month if you pay annually. Another 25% off, and you get access to all these amazing insights that I've been going through. That is that. What are we talking about today? Well, let's start with just Bitcoin because I think it fits in to the narrative right now. Is that Bitcoin's been ranging the last month, and as you can see here, we're looking in the last 28 to 30 days, 3%. It's been moving down, up and down in that 68 to 71 range. This isn't gonna last. Bitcoin will move. We are in a what I think larger super cycle over the next 8 to 21 months. We're going to see more of a bull market. I think the inflows of the Bitcoin ETF, that has been most of the push lately. I think people are getting used to that. They're used to, hey, Grayscale is selling. Grayscale, is outweighed by the rest of the ETFs that are seeing inflows. But I think we need the next narrative. I'm not sure if the halving that's coming up here on 420, most likely, or maybe the day before, I think, is what it's looking like now, is going to have the major impact that we think on the market. Is more of a psychological impact, but Bitcoin's ranging. And so what do? We try to take advantage in moments like this. This is why we've been talking a lot about meme coins and other narratives with AI and real world assets. So that's where we're going tonight. We're talking AI. If you haven't been to Bittensor's website, it's pretty scaled down, but it's pretty cool. It's kind of was born a little bit out of the tokenomics of Bitcoin. There's 21 million. Bittensor, the ticker is TAO. I want to talk about him on tonight's show because I think Bittensor is, one of the most exciting projects in not just the AI narrative, but I think it's one of the most exciting projects in the entire cryptocurrency space. And I think over the next year or two, it may be one of the more exciting projects within Web 2 AI and finance, because there's a lot going on here, and the sector just in and of itself with AI is booming. So Bittensor is a typical staking or validator miner setup, but the focus is a little bit different. Where what is actually happening here in the Bittensor network is that it all works through these validators, and then the miners are actually bringing together data streams, and the validators are valuing those data streams to say, hey, this is a great data stream, for one of the 32 subnets that they've established on the network. And then, it's just so hyper competitive based on the incentive system to provide good data that that competition that they've created there has created such a difficulty that they're getting really high quality data that's coming through a lot of these subnets. So this is just taostats.io. It's a cool site to come to check out everything that's going on with Bittensor. You can see they've got the 32 subnets here and all the different sectors that they're actually established for. They do have like a root subnet as well, which I think it is mainly for understanding the incentive system and the payouts for the rest of the subnets. And so, just checking out one subnet here, subnet 8, which is the proprietary trading network or the prop trading network subnet. This is, just looking at, some of the validators and some of the miners here and the daily payouts that they have. I mean, this is, some of these validators are making 40 TAO, which is, $23,000 a day on this network. So, you can see the rest of the network here and who's competing, but it's pretty competitive here to say that, if you're making 20K a day and something that's just kind of been established and started here, I think Bittensor's, only 4 months on the market, and these subnets are even newer than that. So there's a lot of, like I said, hyper competition that's happening within these subnets. The subnet, is just one of the other 32 that are out there. Definitely kind of hop in here and check these out. This is a tough one. This is like a very technical project to understand. And even as someone that's been in the industry for a long time, understanding the full array of what's happening here, you really have to dive deep. And it's, I think that's why it's important to, maybe focus on one subnet here that you think is kind of interesting based on what you're into if you want to start participating. They did have, this was pretty cool. This guy Mog here is really good at explaining what's going on with Bittensor. But it was a pretty interesting diagram. It seems, it's just a user flow here and not too crazy. But the part that I think is really interesting is this kind of ranked miners here. And so as the miners are generating different data feeds that are used to, output high quality data, these validators are basically ranking all of these miners to say, hey, this miner has the best high quality data that could be used for X, Y, and Z, whatever subnet that they're working on. And then only the best data gets out to the users. And then these miners are, they have to improve their model if they want to rank higher. So it's really the way I kind of think about TAO and Bittensor is it's not an actual, it's not decentralized compute in and of itself, but it is it's like the DAO / incentive system that's built around. It's like an extremely powerful incentive system that's built purpose for all of these different AI tasks that could potentially be out there. And so to me, it's, to have an incentive system like that in place and to be now running with these large numbers that are being paid out to some of these miners and some of these validators, no one else is even close to these guys with regards to the way what has been put together. So, all in all, the technology, the community that's in place, the developer network, if you get into some of these discords on some of these subnets, I mean, you're talking to, some of the smartest individuals in some of these different sectors that are out there, really, highly trained. And then also, some of the stuff is, we don't even know some of the people that are making $20,000, $50,000 a day on some of these things, but, you can see them consistently registering these miners and making even more money. I mean, these guys are doing a great job. So just taking a look, Bittensor came back on to my radar today, just looking, at Lunar Crush, popped into the top 10 alt rank. It has been kind of pulling back a little bit over the last month or so. So I've been kind of keeping my eye on it to see when it would start to kind of peak up again. And it has, we're still, if you can look at the top 10 here, I mean, Bitcoin's even in here. We got a ton of social activity. But Velo, Book of Meme, I mean, we could pop into it real quick while we're here. Why not? Looking at the alt rank here. Yeah, I mean, slammed down to this top 10 in the last 24 hours. So this thing is just, going to keep potentially moving here. But we'll look at Book of Meme next time. So hopping into Bittensor, wanted to go through the socials a little bit. Obviously, I'm not Scott. You're watching Scott's channel right now. Like, who is this guy? I'm looking at the market a little bit differently, where basically what I'm doing is understanding the market from a social perspective. And that's what's on my radar. So every day as I'm looking out in the market, that's what we built Lunar Crush for. But, what is popping off from a social perspective and how do you play the market from that landscape? And so looking over at the last 3 months here of Bittensor, I'm looking at, 1 million interactions million interactions, a little bit less in January. We've had days now where there's 13 million interactions across X, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube, all the news, and then the number of posts that are happening per hour as well as you look through this chart here. And so, we're talking a couple thousand posts. And so, if I back off here and just look at price alone, got up to almost $730 per TAO, and it's kind of scaled back a little bit. And then I think we've hit the reversal here. And, I'm looking at this as a longer term play. I think that Bittensor, they will have a halving. I think the first halving is coming up in October. Just the tokenomics, the subnets, the developers, the incentive system, and now the community is all coming together nicely to, what I think, also within just the larger AI narrative and pulling that AI talent away from potentially even some of the big companies that are out there building out AI. You've got this ability to kind of run your own business overnight here if you're pretty good. And I don't understand why people wouldn't want to do that, especially developers that are, pretty smart. And so, I think we're going to start moving back up here a little bit, we'll look at the alt rank on the 1 week here. And this is kind of what you want to see. Alt rank didn't quite get down to that top 10. And then just over the last day or so, kind of got into that top 10. And then you can kind of see it slamming down here. And then price is going to start moving up too. And so, just like I showed you in that book of meme 1 week, if, alt rank could continue to kind of stay flat here, that's what you're keeping an eye on, then this is going to keep running. Just the combination of social, people looking at it, market volume starting to pick up. And then again, this is something that, when you pick up, it's not, some of the meme coins that are out there, you've just got to have your finger on the trigger when it comes to, whether or not you're going to hold that thing. Something like a Bittensor seems like something that you would want to play with, a little bit longer into a cycle, and then even start to participate. Because I know that I don't think they're going to launch tokens for every single subnet that comes out, but there will be some sort of way for holders to kind of signal that they believe that a subnet is better than other subnets. And so I think there's going to be more utility that comes out with the token and, potentially a staking token. And so I think, as this network continues to build, I think, they haven't even built any DeFi on top of this yet, right? Like if you go check out some of the markets here, we've got centralized exchanges here, and like even not the type of volume that maybe you would think you would see in a project that has a multi-billion-dollar market cap. And a lot of that is because these validators that are earning the majority of the TAO and the miners that are getting the majority of the TAO, they're actually kind of recycling that back into the ecosystem, whether they're re-registering miners, registering more miners. And so you're seeing, or creating more validators. And so you're actually seeing, kind of almost like a perfect storm of what you would want to see in a decentralized economy, is that it's just the token just keeps getting recycled back in. And so, right now it's, you've got, which usually happens is a lot of exchanges that are integrating it. They want to get it and be a part of that, that cycle of what's going on. They've got huge depth here, so that's good to see as well. But there's probably going to be an entire DeFi ecosystem that eventually gets built out on top of this. There's going to be an entire DApp ecosystem that gets built out on top of this as the data continues to get better coming out of these subnets. It's going to be used, by consumers or to build out consumer apps, whether that's marketplaces, app stores. The data is going to be some of the highest quality data that you can get, in the AI space. Whether you're training an LLM, you're scraping, you're doing, you're pulling data from other parts of the internet. I think, this is a play here, you guys. So I'm bullish on it. I like it. Do your own research, not financial advice, but definitely get into the community, always get in the Discords, and keep doing your research. So thank you, everyone. This has been episode 14 of the Alpha Show. Shoot me some DMs. Let me know what you want out of the show. Let me know if you've got any awesome projects that you're working on. Love to see them. Love to highlight you. So, all right, everyone.